Welcome back, Goblin Chefs. This is your Goblin Master Chef APGAINS here, and we're going to talk about the best light side teams. A lot of you guys in the forums, or rather in the Discord, have been asking, what's the best light side team? I'm trying to get my light side team up and running. Obviously, the best dark side team is the Goblins. The dark side have a lot better characters, and the light side has some good characters, but they're hard to get. So we're going to break down the 5 best light side characters that you should go for early. You should put some resources into, and they're going to help you level, but also they're going to be good in PvP if you need to use them there as well. All right, so first and foremost, obviously Strider, Aragorn Strider is going to be our number 1, mostly because he's our daily objective character, and we're going to be able to power level him up. Let's pick up 10 more shards here, and I think that should bring him to 4 stars. Now, the stars in the earlier stages aren't super impactful, but the later stages, I think you need 810 shards, something absolutely ridiculous like that. The later stars through the data mines add a lot more power than, say, 4 stars or 3 stars or 2 stars. But once you get to the 5, 6, and 7 stars, then you start to see a big power creep come in with Strider. And Strider's, he's a big damage dealer. He's got an AoE. He's got a triple attack. He's got synergy with hobbits. He's a great character. So let's just hop in and go to our favorited characters so we can break down the characters. You can see them right here. I think favorited's up at the top. All right. So we talked about Strider. Now, the rest, we have 3 more hobbits. We have Frodo, Pippin, and Merry, and then the Northern Ranger. So let's just break down what you need from a team in the game right now. So the game is in its fledgling stages. Basically, it's still alpha. They call it a beta, but it's basically an alpha. But I'm assuming you're watching this when the game comes out. All right, so we know Aragorn's our big damage dealer. He's got synergy with hobbits. Frodo also has synergy with hobbits. He calls them in to assist when he basics. He goes under stealth. He has some good features that work well with other hobbits. Pippin and Merry, they have some synergy where they call each other to do some stuff, which is pretty good. They give buffs and all that great stuff. Pippin's pretty easy to get. I think he is a guild. I believe he was a guild farm. Let's just hop at his loading of the rings. Yeah, so he's a guild farm, so you can get him up pretty easily. Doesn't require too much investment in the guild farming to get him up. And then Merry is a shipment farm, which makes him a lot easier. I think you only get 5 shards of him from the shipments, but he's only 45 shards, so after a couple of days, you should be able to get him up and running. Yeah, here we go. He's from the Squad Arena shipments, which is a pretty good value place to get a lot of characters. If you're running the dark side version of this team, the Goblins, you can get a lot of good Goblins from the shipments as well. So, Hobbit synergy, hobbits. I believe it is Pippin who has a heal ability. If I hop in here, I think it's this one right here, right? Yeah, heal self and 2 most wounded allies for 100 health. And this obviously scales as you level up his abilities. An extra 100 health, an extra 300 health, which goes to all squad members. Extra 500 health plus a cleanse, and this will scale and scale and scale. Now, the things that we need are healing, we need damage, and we need survivability. Those are the core tenets of the game right now as far as leveling through PvE and also battling through PvP are concerned. Now, we have synergy. We've talked about Aragorn and how the hobbits all play into each other, and we have some healing from Pippin over here. But we also have some survivability and some healing from the Northern Ranger. The Northern Ranger, if you upgrade his ability, can get some solid healing in here. He'll heal a couple enemies, and I think if you get to level 2, he'll also heal another one. But more importantly, he has a taunt, which is amazing in this game because the enemy team is not very smart, and taunts kind of mess them up. And at this point in the game, you can use gear doesn't really matter. It's kind of just you go in, you click on someone, you press auto, and you win, just because the enemy can't really single target someone. But being able to have a guy with a lot of HP who also has healing himself, but also healing out here, taunting for a couple of seconds, especially if they happen to really snipe down one of your hobbits, which you can't afford to lose, or God forbid they're going after your damage dealer, can be a very valuable play in the beginning. Now, if you happen to run this team, I wouldn't open with the taunt as opposed to using a taunt on, like, say, the Goblin team, because you don't have a ton of healing. Like, you have some okay healing here and some okay healing here. It's not like the Goblin team where you're spawning in more goblins that will eventually take the taunt away and bring the focus away from your main group of guys that you can't have die. Or you have the Goblin Chef who does massive amounts of healing to the entire team. It's scaled down a little bit to the point where this is kind of a situational taunt. You don't want to pop this in the very beginning. You want to kind of see how the other team's AI is playing your team, right? If they're starting to focus down, say Frodo or Merry or Pippin or whatever, or they're just like they're about to get a guy down, then yeah, you're going to want to pop a taunt. you're going to want to pop a taunt and try and take the focus away, and then pop a heal with Pippin and pop a heal with Northern Ranger. Let Strider do the damage, get some assists from Frodo and some synergy between Merry and Pippin, and have a good spot there. This all being said, this all comes with a huge caveat of the light side teams in this game are not nearly as good as the dark side teams. Now, there are some good light side teams, like I think the elves, especially with Elrond, are very good, but I don't even think you can get Elrond. Let me filter for elves real quick here. Elf. Now, Elrond is very good. He has a massive heal. He's very good survivability, but he's 100 shards to unlock, and I don't think you can get him very easily. I might be mistaken, yeah. So you have to gamble to get him, and you guys know that I never condone spending in mobile games or gaming in general, unless one, you're directly profiting, i.e. you're a streamer or something like that, or two, that if you set the money that you spent on the game on fire, you wouldn't care. So while he is a more powerful version of this team right here, and the elves do some really good work, especially if you can get the whole team, 2 characters that are 100 shard unlocks is a little steep, and this might be more of a mid-game team, not an early-game leveling team. Let's see if you can even farm her relatively easily. I think you can farm her on a node. Yeah, you can farm her on a hard node, which is not the best in the world, but that's going to be kind of a later stage mid-game after you've grinded, after you've grinded or ground or grinded or whatever you want to call it through a lot of the early stages of the light side. And that's only if you're gambling and you happen to be able to get Elrond. Now, until Elrond becomes actually farmable, you're not going to be in a very good situation. And Rivendell Duelist is good because Jack, this character Jack right here, does have some good abilities, but just kind of like, the goblins are good, but I would prefer, in my personal opinion, the filter system kind of sucks, by the way. You have to go all, and then it opens everything up. I would prefer the Nazgul, because if you look at all 5 of them, there's only 3 available right now, and I think these 2 you can only purchase with actual money, which is stupid. But when you see the full 5 team that you get to play with a little bit, the kits are really good, and I think these kits are going to be better than the Goblin team. These are going to kind of be like the elves to the Aragorn Northern Ranger hobbits. Is like, these are going to be better, but they're going to be way harder to get. So it's like telling you a character is really good because they're really good, but you can't get them, so it's kind of a pointless statement. It's kind of the same thing with Elrond and the elves. Same thing with kind of the dwarves as well. I don't think it would be right to leave the dwarves. Dude, I really hate this filter system. It's really bad. The dwarves are solid. You can farm Killy and Philly. I can't remember which one it is. I think it's Philly. Has I think the best heal in the game. But the other characters, you have to either grind really hard to get the Iron Hills Guardian, and Gimli, I believe you can only buy, or they might have updated the game to the point where you can farm him, but previously you could only buy him with actual money. And he kind of did a lot. Yeah, item can't be found at this time. Please check back later. So you can't even get him, right? So kind of just wanted to pay homage to the elves and to the dwarves as good light side teams that just aren't accessible unless you're spending money, and I don't recommend you ever spend money in mobile games. So if you guys like this kind of content, subscribe. As always, I love you, and I'll see you later.